U.S. Defense Secretary Mark Esper, who's visiting South Korea as part of his five-nation trip to the Asia-Pacific region, met with his South Korean counterpart Kyeong-doo and Foreign Minister Kang this morning. Now, this is Esper's first overseas trip since taking office last month, and he's to have his first sit-down with President Moon Jae-in later today. Our Kim Ji-yeon is at Seoul's Defense Ministry, where Esper is currently at. Now, Ji-yeon, what are the two defense chiefs expected to discuss?
Well, first, Secretary Esper wrote in the Defense Ministry guest log that he thanks South Korea for a great partnership and alliance over many decades and advancement of the two countries' mutual values and shared interests. Jeong welcomed Esper for visiting South Korea and that it's particularly meaningful since it's Esper's first official trip overseas and considering the security situation of the Northeast Asian region and the Korean peninsula. He pointed out recent firings by North Korea amid efforts to establish everlasting peace and achieving North Korean denuclearization. Esper thanked Jeong and said he came into the role as the defense secretary to reaffirm the military commanders in the U.S. that U.S. national defense strategy remains in strategic direction for the U.S. Department of Defense, and that strategy recognizes the Indo-Pacific region as a priority theater. As such, he said that's why he spent the last 6 days traveling the Indo-Pacific to meet with several valued allies and partners. Esper said he came here today to reaffirm that the U.S. and the ROK alliance is ironclad and that it is the linchpin of peace and security both on the Korean peninsula and Northeast Asia, and that they share the vision of the peaceful peninsula and free and open Indo-Pacific region. He added that the U.S. is willing to engage diplomatically with North Korea to make progress in all commitments made in the Singapore joint statement to achieve the final fully verified denuclearization of North Korea. In addition, he wanted to acknowledge the progress towards the conditions-based transition of the wartime operational control of the Combined Forces Command from a U.S. commander to a South Korean commander, and that this shows strength of trust between the allies that no adversaries can match. Media outlets in South Korea have speculated that the two sides would share their assessment of North Korea's newly developed short-range ballistic missiles and discuss ways to better counter North Korea's evolving missile threats. The two sides are also expected to discuss South Korea's participation in the U.S.-led coalition to secure shipping routes in the Strait of Hormuz, as well as renewing the military information sharing pact between South Korea and Japan. But the ministry said the deployment of medium-range weapons in Asia and cost sharing for stationing American troops were not likely to have been discussed in detail in the two defense ministers' meeting. Seoul's defense ministry said it plans to release details of their talks later today, including the name and duration of the South Korea-U.S. combined military exercise taking place this month. The two countries kicked off a preliminary session on Monday in the run-up to their summertime command post combined exercise meant to test South Korea's initial operational capability for the envisioned OPCON transfer. Back to you, Ji-yeon.